Hello, Doffelheim here, and as you can see, more Heroes 4. And before we start, if you like this video, or you like any other content on my channel, do like and subscribe because it really helps, and I really appreciate it. With that said, let's go into the last campaign, which is Chaos.
Who's going to miss a man who never did anything unless it put gold in his pocket? In fact, Captain Black knifed his own brother over a few copper pieces, barely the price of a bowl of porridge. That's my daddy. Good riddance, I say.
Alright. Campaign. Surpassing her infamous father's accomplishments, Tavni Balfour embarks on a journey filled with battle and mayhem as she siege control of the important waterways around the Gold Sea. She not only faces pirates and creatures from the bottom of the ocean, but also her own dark past as she sets out to become the pirate queen of the Gold Sea. Scenario: after the death of her infamous pirate father, Tavni Balfour takes command of his ship. Her ship. Whatever. She immediately sets out to accomplish something her father never dreamed of doing, conquering the Strait of Storms. Her dream to control the entire Golden Sea begins or ends here. She must defeat the towns of Phrygiston and Yennefer, or fade into mediocrity. Details, yeah, I think it's the same. Difficulty advanced, we will do advanced. And go. Oh, I never, I always forget that there's also always a lot of fucking text in the beginning. A pair of sailors carried my father's large corpse to the end of the plank. He was wrapped in a section of sail and weighted down with a sack of the same gold-plated lead coins he often used to pay for his meals. All eyes fell on me, his daughter, and the new captain to say some words, but what do I say about the man I would have killed if he hadn't first met his fate at the point of a rival pirate's blade? This bag of meat used to be Black Balfour, I said loud enough for the entire crew to hear. He never met a person he didn't cheat, beat, or kill. Everyone cheered. Holding a flask in my hand, I stepped out on the out onto the plank. The wood wobbled beneath me. I'm reading so bad. The wood wobbled beneath my feet, threatening to break under the weight of so many people, but I ignored the dangerous creaking. With my teeth, I removed the stopper from the flask and poured most of its contents over the body of the man who sired me. Then I spat out the cork and gulped the rest. Good riddance, I said, nodding to the sailors. I threw the flask away at the sailors as the sailors heaved Black Balfour into the sea to become a meal for the sharks. When we prepared the body this morning, I had secretly cut the ropes securing the weights to my father's corpse so the sea would eat through them in a day or two. Black Balfour would spend a short while repenting on the bottom of the Golden Sea, then the weights broke free. His body would rise to the surface, where some lucky sharks would have a tasty meal. I grinned at the thought. serves you right, I said, so only I could hear. I wasn't at all surprised to find a blade thrusting for my belly the moment I stepped on deck. Few pirates will accept a woman as their captain, and my father's first mate, Gory Gordy. What the fucking name? Gory Gordy! Gory Gordy Gordy Gordy. Sorry. I'm messing up the atmosphere. Was such a man. I had been waiting for him to make his move, which was why I had concealed a pair of daggers beneath the baggy sleeves of my white blouse. I wanted to appear unarmed for this ceremony, a perfect target for a coward like Gory Gordy. Saying that name is like... I sidestepped Gordy's sword, but not quick enough to avoid a stinging slash above my navel. And then I jumped out of his reach as the crew formed a circle around us. I gritted my teeth against the pain. What took you so long? I asked. I still didn't draw my weapons. Let Gordy think he's got the advantage. Men get stupid when they think they have the power. Yeah. I wanted to show your father some respect while he was still above the sea, Gory Gordy said. Funny, my father never had any respect for you. He always said you were dumber than dirt. That's why he kept you as first mate. Too stupid to mutiny. You talk too much, wench. Gordy launched at me 3 more times, but I dodged them all. A sword against any unarmed woman, not exactly fair, is it? At least give me a dagger, I said as the first mate paused for a breath. No doing, you're no woman. And you're no woman. Fine, I said, reaching into my shirt sleeves. I'll use my own then. Gordy blinked, realizing too late that I wasn't as helpless as he had thought. I used a moment of shock to throw my first knife. It sunk to the hilt in his right thigh. After that, my opponent's sword didn't matter. It was lame and couldn't keep me at bay forever. I danced around him, taunted him, and cut him a few times. Then I was no longer having any fun. I spun around the first mate so quickly that his back was still facing me as I ended his life. I pointed my bloody blade at Gordy's body and said, "Throw this overboard, and somebody swab his blood off my ship." Really? And you look like this? You're an ugly woman. You're a thief. And this is Pete Gurley. He's also a thief. Alright. More pirates. Pirates lie for me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Ooh. Wait a second. I will do... Oop. Oh shit. Sorry. So we have to start all this over. No. You should have saved.
Who's going to miss a man who never did anything
whatever.
unless it put gold in his
Blah,
pocket?
blah, blah. Then I want to... like this. Take pathfinding, take this one. Oh, come on! All right, that will do. Yesterday I ordered the crew to set sail for the Strait of Storms. Since the first mate was dead, I did the navigating myself, something my father had never been capable of doing. By now the crew was probably wondering what kind of captain Tawny Balfour would make. Perhaps they were even wondering what I was up to. Where was I taking them? Well, let them wonder. It kept them off guard. Confused men really mutiny. And knocking on the door startled me from my thoughts. Come in. Two young sailors entered. They seemed uncertain why they had been summoned to my cabin. One had a missing tooth and an angry red rash on his neck. I reminded myself not to touch that man in the future. The other was handsome, fair-haired. You are Drunden, right? Asked the later. Because I had been one of the crew for several years, I knew the names of every sailor, but my father hired this good-looking man at our late port, so I didn't know him that well. Yes, Captain, I'm Drunden. I hear you can read and write. Yes, Captain. My father was a scribe back in Raffia. We were at sea when the reckoning came, Drunden said. Good. I have a task for the two of you, I said. Coming to my feet, I walked around my table and leaned against its corner. Go below and find some paint. I don't care what color you use. Then you're to go to the back of the ship and scrap off the words painted on the hull and replace them with new words, I said. The two men nodded. I had decided to rename my father's ship. In his usual unimaginative way, he named it Black Death. I always hated that name. What name do you want, Captain? The Feral Vixen. The Feral Vixen. Okay, the Feral Vixen. Yes, Captain, they said and quickly left. Yep. Oh, yes. I think combat for you right away. Well, that's a nice cloak. We also want this. Alright, next turn. Let's see, how many are you? Well, that's okay. All going for him. Come on, come here. Why did he go that way? Okay. Should use my heroes more. I think more pathfinding. That's cool. I stepped out of my cabin around midday. In one hand I held a dagger, in the other a map I had been working on for the past few days. I walked purposefully to the main mast and pinned the map to the wood. All hands gather around. You all might as well take a look. I shouted, stepped back to let the sailors congregate around the mast. I used a crate secured to the deck as a stage. When everyone had a chance to see the map, I waved my hands over my head to get their attention. Look here! What are we? Men of the sea, several responded. I shook my head and shouted, are we some like common land-loving swine that we have to give ourselves pretty names? What are we? Dogs, scum, thieves, murderers? All of those were correct, but finally one of them shouted the right answer. We are pirates, said a short, square-jawed man with a shaved head, oiled so that it sparkled beneath the sun. His name was Arnok the Hairless, one of the contenders for first mate. If I let my decision be determined by the outcome of a brawl, my money would be on this man. Arnok had fists like rocks, and he was well known for his ability to take pain. His forearms were covered with pink scar tissue, the result of many bets that he could keep his arm over burning flame twice as long as anyone. He never lost. Arnak was also an experienced sailor and navigator. But could he be trusted? Although he didn't seem to be the ambitious sort, there was no telling what he thought about following a woman. Good, I said, pointing at the bald man. To everyone, I yelled, "We are pirates. But we are not the only ones, are we? What's the saying? The Gold Sea is home to more pirates than fish?" I paused to let this pass set in. None of them would have to think for long before they recalled that the devious Captain Swift had recently killed their very own Captain Black. About half of our battles are with other pirates, not merchant ships. It dawned on me a long time ago that none of us were earning the kind of profits that were available on the Gold Sea. My father, I said, was getting old. His tactics were old, even his thoughts were old. That's why he died. This is a new world, and it's required new thinking. Several of the men cheered. They were the ones that never liked my father anyway. The ones I truly had to convince were respected men like Arnok the Hairless, who had been loyal to Black Balfour for many years. No, that would take too long. I'm going to conquer the Gold Sea. This time most of the crew laughed at such a thought. That's all right though. They didn't believe in me yet. At least they feared me. How are you going to do that? Arnok asked. By first conquering the Strath of Storms, I said, pointing at the map pinned to the mast. Woo! A lot of reading. Dozen ghost. Maybe. Oh well, let's try it. So... what is this one called? Well, let's take your name like we did with everyone else. Tavney Balfour. Tavney Balfour. Here we go. Oh, that should be easy. I hope. Oh shit, how much can you do? Holy shit. You still have a lot of fucking... This is really taking out my crew. Did you even be able to kill it? No! 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 Okay, fuck it. Oh, come on. I was sitting at my table when the young sailor Dridden returned from below deck. He placed what I had asked him to receive on the table in front of me, his expression confused and a little afraid. Good, Dridden, I said. Now, I want you to go out and make an announcement to the entire crew. Yes, Captain, what do you want me to say? Tell them that whoever is interested in being first mate should report to me now. Gridden stepped outside. Meanwhile, I prepared for the first taker. In my mind, I set the odds on who would be the first to step through the door. Would it be Arnok the Hairless or my father's second mate, Eight Fingers Uba? The door creaked open and in stepped Foos, the axe, a rugged man with bulging muscles. He had been a soldier before he became a pirate, so he was one of my best fighters. It was a shame I had to kill him. Wow. I fired a crossbow concealed beneath the table, the same bow Dridden had brought up from the weapons store below deck. The bolt pined Foos to the door of my cabin. Foos' ass groaned, clutched at the wounds. I could tell by his stupid expression that he still hadn't figured out what happened. I put my foot up on the table, stuck in the crossbow's stirrup, and drew back the string. Anyone ambitious enough to be first to answer my call is too ambitious for my ship, Foos. Sorry, I said. Foos tried to speak, but the pain must have been too much to bear. Still, he struggled to free his favored axe from his belt. You had to give him credit for trying. I placed the second bolt in the crossbow and leveled it at Foos' chest. I know it doesn't make you feel any better, but I'll give you a decent sailor's funeral. Like you did your father. I saw the ropes, you cut them, Foos said, through teeth gritted against the agony in his stomach. He finally managed to raise his axe. Fine then, I'll just throw you out with the refuse. I fired the bolt power through the pirate through the door behind him. He collapsed, dead on the deck outside my quarters where all could see. Arnok the Hairless was the first to examine this body. He glanced up at me, his face expressionless. I guess he's not the first mate, Arnok said. No, I replied, dropped the crossbow on the table. I frowned at my broken door. One of the hinges had snapped off. Then to Arnok, I said, you can have the job if you want. Well, I don't see a crossbow in your hands, so I'll take it. Wow, what a woman. Well, that's how women are like. You can't trust them. Nice. No, that one we won't take. Alright, interesting. Well, it's nice to finally be at the last campaign. Wow, there's a lot of stuff. Let's see, let's explore the last... Oh, really? Here's something. Well, that didn't give me much. Well, it's pirates, but are these dangerous? I don't know. No. Let's have a save also. Okay, we have played for quite a while. So let's do this fight. Are they dangerous? Yes and no. Maybe that was stupid, but don't care. Too bad. I don't think we lost a lot of them. All 10, but 24 pirates is never bad. We got some back. And let's take this as well, and then we can be off. Oh fuck, you die. Yep. Fuck. Fucking whore. Okay, much better. Was the first to jump from the dinghy onto the petals-grown beach. It had been a while since I placed foot on dry land, so it felt odd not to have the world swaying beneath you. Sometimes a sailor spends a long time at sea. He experienced a form of reverse seasickness when on solid ground. I already felt the mild queasiness creeping into my stomach, but I gritted my teeth, refusing to allow it to become anything more. I had come here to find a land route to the town of Phrygiston, since its leader, Jorgen Onefoot, had wisely blocked any access to the bay with a giant chain. The men who would accompany me, all volunteers, climbed from the other boats and quickly removed sacks of food and bundles of weapon. Along the way, we would build or steal whatever we needed to siege Phrygiston. Slowly, all the dinghies returned to the Hereos Vixen, leaving only one. In it was my new first mate, Arnok the Hairless. Sorry. I hope I can trust you not to name yourself captain while I'm gone, I said. I make no promises, Arnok said with an unpleasant smile. His smile always made my skin crawl. Well, here's my promise. If you steal my ship, I swear I will hunt you down and gut you. Arnok laughed and waved as he single-handed rowed a boat over the crashing waves. A job for two men normally. I wondered if I would ever see the feral vixen again. Drawing my sword, I waved it over my head to get everyone's attention. I know we're pirates built for fighting on the sea, but I don't want any man with me who can't kill a man on dry land as well. Follow me, so the Strait of Storms will be ours. All good for you. 43, and they can shoot. Well, not for now. We will do like this and end this video. So, as I said in the beginning, I hope, or I didn't say this first in the beginning, but I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, subscribe and like. Also leave comments what you think, what I can do better, and yeah, whatever comment you want. Anyway, with that said, take care, Doffelheim out.